What is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. Today we are using the team that my boy Nate sent me with the team of Tapu Lele, Primarina, Decidueye, Mimikyu, Snorlax, and Arcanine. So it's actually kind of early in the morning, so the first thing I say to myself when I wake up in the morning is, hey, let's go play Battle Spotlight. Nope, that's definitely not the case, but I want to get some videos recorded today before I go back to college. So I do want to get some videos up. So I had like 2 morning battles to like warm me up, and I learned an interesting mechanic. If your opponent goes for fake out onto the onto one of your pledge users, the Primarina in this case, and you go for the pledges, you actually don't just use grass pledge singly. The move will fail because of the fact that your Primarina was going to use water pledge. The moves were going to combine, but your Primarina couldn't move. So that was an interesting mechanic I learned off camera. So that was definitely interesting. Yeah. So we're gonna move on. And let's see if we can actually pick up some wins. I would love some wins with this team. I mean, on camera we have what, an 8 win streak, so I would like to continue that if possible, but who knows, as we get higher into the ladder. I'm pretty sure we know people who have like idea what pledges do. Well, that's the thing about pledges, like if your team doesn't have a way that can handle it, it doesn't even matter if you know like how to beat it. And that's true for a lot of things, but in Pledge's case, the only way you can really beat it is 1, by stopping the Pledge from going up, which means protecting on the right slot and then being able to threaten the knockout. 2, having Trick Room, because it makes the Pledge mode kind of useless because of the fact you don't want to set Pledges against the Trick Room team. Or 3, being able to eliminate the pledge users before they're able to get the pledge off. So maybe like a Talonflame being able to knock out the Decidueye turn 1, of course, as we find Luke from the United States with a 1695 rating with the team of, wait, didn't we face this team? Oh yeah, we did face this team actually. It's the Tapu Lele, Garchomp, Drifblim, Kartana, Arcanine, and Gigalith. So we're gonna have game 2 against Luke, it looks like. And pledges are still very strong in this matchup. I don't see your way my opponent really beats it. So I can go Decidueye. I forgot what I led here. I think it was Decidueye, Primarina. I think I had Tapu Lele, and I think I had Mimikyu in the back. I don't know if he had Protect or not. Wait, did I have Arcanine? I might have had Arcanine. No, I didn't have Mimikyu. I definitely had Arcanine. Okay, so I will go with the same 4 Pokemon because of the fact that they work, and I'm not exactly sure if it's worth switching to Trick Room mode when you have Gigalith on the field. Maybe I should have brought Mimikyu because I kind of anticipated him not to bring the Gigalith because it really didn't do anything for him last game, but who knows, we'll see here. But you're definitely not going to lead Gigalith in front of pledges, as Tapu Lele Kartana does take the field. And I guess the question is, do I really need to set up the pledges here turn 1? I don't really have to be honest. I could just pledge the Lele because of the fact that Lele once, I don't think it carried Protect, or if it did, it didn't go for it. I think I'll just go for pledges here in case my opponent decides to protect Kartana for whatever reason. So I'm going to double target the Lele slot actually with the pledges. Could be a bad idea as Kartana's going to protect. Yep, just as anticipated. Or maybe it's double protecting the Scout. Oh, it's Scarf. Does that pick up the knockout on Decidueye? Okay, it doesn't. Okay, that could have been really bad. That could have been really bad, but luckily we do get the pledges off, and this will be able to knock out the Tapu Lele. Nice. That is what I like to see. And now we have the Swamp on the field. So my opponent predicted me to go for Kartana again, but since I didn't feel like it was a... So Scarf Lele. Okay, that was good to know compared to the previous episode. Arcanine's going to come in, get that Intimidate off, but now what I could do is just... I think I could just Grass Splash to Kartana for safety, and I could just switch out into my Arcanine, because 1, I break a Sash if that is Sash Kartana, 2, I avoid a Leaf Blade and get an Intimidate off onto his Pokemon, and 3, if Decidueye goes down this turn, I could bring out my Arcanine for free and go for like Scald plus Flare Blitz, which does a lot of damage to anything on this team. So I feel like I'm in a very solid position here, as Arcanine's going to protect here. Maybe fearing the Arcanine switch from the Decidueye and the Water Pledge into that slot, but going for the Grass Pledge into that Kartana slot, which does actually a decent amount of damage, as Leaf Blade is going to come out into the Arcanine slot, but that really doesn't do any damage at all. And now I can go for a, I think I'm going to, like, I think Kartana does, this is interesting. I think I could Grass Pledge any target, to be honest. I could also hard switch in back into Primarina, which is actually, I think, the better play, because Decidueye could be a revenge sweeper later in the game. And I'll go for Flare Blitz into Kartana. As let's see, since it's Scarflat, I at least confirmed that my opponent's team most likely doesn't have, well, it can have another Scarf user, so that's really good to know. As Kartana's going to withdraw into Gigalith. Okay, that's why I was thinking maybe I could go for a Pledge here, but Primarina covers the switch well because of the fact that Water Pledge is still going to be doing a lot to my opponent's side of the field, so I don't really mind this, as Flare Blitz will get the chip damage onto Gigalith, where Scald should be able to guarantee the knockout. Yeah, that does so much. That actually does a lot of damage, as we're going to see the Flare Blitz come out from the Arcanine, and that's going to target down my Primarina. Okay. So that really doesn't do too much. I will Scald the Gigalith because Gigalith is a threat, and I think I'll just Flare Blitz the Arcanine. The Arcanine's intimidated, so Wall Charge won't be doing too much. In Psychic Terrain, you can't Wall Charge plus Extreme Speed for the knockout. Gigalith can go for a Continental Crush, which would probably pick up the knockout here. And I'm going to Flare Blitz the Arcanine, so Kartana never gets a free switch, and I don't want Kartana getting a free switch in. And I always do have Decidueye with HP Fire to revenge KO Kartana future in the game, so I don't really need Arcanine too much in this game, especially to be healthy. So I feel like the best play is just to target down the Gigalith, as we're going to see the Protect from the Arcanine. As is it going to be a Protect from Gigalith? Nope. So I do get the Scald off, and this is Spec Scald, and this should do a lot to the Gigalith. You saw how much Flare Blitz did? It did about 35 to 40. Gigalith goes down to the Scald. Nice, nice, nice. As we're going to all be taking some sand. And we should still have turns of pledges left. We should have, what, 2 more? Oh, it actually disappears now. Okay. So that makes this game a bit interesting. Although I still think I do win in the back with what I have in the back. So, okay. It's a bit tricky because Leaf Blade could come out here, and then I don't have a really effective way to knock out the Arcanine. Yet I think I'm fine still, unless he crits me. I think I'm going to Flare Blitz the Kartana and just Scald here, as we're going to see the Z move come out from my opponent's side. It's all out pummeling, which is okay here. So all out pummeling is going to be able to knock out Arcanine, but as long as I'm able to knock out my opponent's Arcanine, I had Decidueye with HP Fire, which will always be able to outspeed and KO this Kartana, which is why I was fine with this play, because I don't want him like getting any momentum. I don't want him getting any momentum from him switching, from me switching, and then him calling the right target, getting a Beast Boost. And if he was, well, his Sash was broken earlier if he did have a potential Sash, so I guess it was fine. It is Wall Charge actually, so this shouldn't pick up the knock on Primarina. Yep, as we do survive. Okay, that's good to know. And Scald should be able to finish off this Arcanine, so get a Scald off in a Arcanine, and that will be able to pick up the knockout. And now I can just go out to Decidueye and click HP Fire, or should I just go for Pledge for style? I think I'll go for Pledge for style. Because 1, I don't think I ever revealed HP Fire against him, and 2, why not? I mean, it's Pledge. It will definitely be able to knock out Kartana. It did 90%, and that was quad resisted earlier, so I can go for the pledges here. Oh wait, I can't. Actually, no, I could just Shadow Ball here. Like, Shadow Ball is a no drawback play. It will be able to KO Kartana, and I reveal that I don't have HP Fire. So in case we somehow play again, I do have the HP Fire tech for later. So Shadow Ball is going to come out into the Kartana, and it will pick up the knockout. So we learned some information about that game in case we do play Luke in another game. Won the Scarf on Lele, which is interesting because you don't really see Scarf on Lele Driftblim. I think the only notable Scarf Lele with Driftblim team was like won by Baz Anderson. But of course that was completely different because the team had a different mode from Driftblim. So yeah, very interesting. 2, the all-out pummeling, which means I can easily just go for HP Fire. I don't really have to worry about that. 3, I know that Lele can't protect anymore, which is pretty big. So if Lele comes in, if Lele leaves, I could always just go for Pledges Guaranteed onto that slot, which is really, really good. So luckily, things that could have went wrong, I guess maybe my opponent targeted down the Primarina turn 1 with Leaf Blade, because if he went for a Leaf Blade, got the knockout on Primarina, it could have spelled a lot of trouble, because of the fact Primarina was my best answer to hit the Kartana. Yet all those, I mean not Kartana, Arcanine, but then again, Life Orb Psychic should have just been able to obliterate anything combined with a Choice Banded Flare Blitz, so I don't feel like it was the worst thing in the world. I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but yeah. Anything else I really have to say? Not really. Hopefully we get another game soon though. I'm trying to think. Was there anything I could have done better otherwise? I guess no, I don't think so. I think I made the plays that I needed to. Of course, the one thing that could have probably screwed me over was the fact that if my opponent did get a Wall Charge crit, but then again, that's just relying on Pokemon luck at that point. I didn't know he had Wall Charge, and I did play it, so unless he got the odds in his favor, I would be able to win the game no matter what. Luckily, he didn't get that crit, because that crit could have really put a hurt against me. But yeah, as we're gonna cut till we find another game. Lucia, I don't know how you pronounce it. With the team of Aerodactyl, Metagross, Garchomp, Xurkitree, Milotic, and Ninetales. So, I think I played this person, and pledges look very solid here. The only speed control my opponent has is that Tailwind from Aerodactyl. I wonder if it's Scarf Garchomp. It could be Scarf Garchomp, although my opponent doesn't really have a Z move otherwise, unless maybe it's Electrium Z on the Xurkitree, or potentially, you know, something from that Metagross, Shattered Psyche, All Out Pummeling. Let's see here. Pledges is probably my go-to lead against this team. It's just very effective against this team in general. Tapu Lele kind of destroys my opponent's team. And the last Pokemon, I think Arcanine with the Choice Band should be able to do a lot of damage. So I think those 4 Pokemon are fine here. Let's see what my opponent is going to bring. The Ninetales lead, I wouldn't be surprised, since you can't stop Pledges. Maybe you could slow down the team to where you could stall out the Pledges with a Roar Veil. That's probably what I would be thinking in my head here. So let's see what my opponent's going to lead here. I think I'll go for Pledges in the Ninetales, as Ninetales Milotic leads. Okay, so I will go for Pledges into the Ninetales turn 1, because 1, maybe my opponent doesn't know, but the Pledge is a Grass type move, I believe. So you should be fearing the Grass Pledge into Milotic for the one-hit knockout, which would be devastating to your team. And 2, I think Aurora Veil is just a very free play here. So I think I'm just going to double up the Ninetales slot with the Pledges. If it's Focus Sash, it will survive. Maybe if it's bulky, it's going to be able to survive, but I'm not exactly too sure. I mean, Ninetales does have decent special defense, as Milotic does go for that Protect as anticipated. So I do get the Pledges up into the Ninetales slot, which is really good. Also, the fact that Ninetales threatens Decidueye is a big factor. So I'm able to get the Pledges off. It does actually pick up the knockout Ninetales, and that's great because 1, Milotic wastes its Protect, 2, I get the Swamp off, 3, I'm threatening a knockout the next turn, 4, Aurora Veil is not set up. There are a lot of good things that happen from that turn 1, so very happy about that turn 1. As my opponent's going to be taking a bit of hail, as its leftovers Milotic. Okay, that's good to know. No Aurora Veil though means I'm able to pick up knockouts for days. As let's see what's coming out. Maybe Xurkitree. Yep, I think Xurkitree has to come out here. And I think you have to go on the offense. Milotic can't really do anything other than Ice Beam. Yeah, so I think I'm actually going to double up the Xurkitree because I'm not sure my opponent expects me to double up the Milotic here, but I think I'm going to try to double up the Xurkitree and pick up a knockout potentially because Xurkitree is a frail Pokemon. It doesn't really take attacks that well, and I think my opponent has to go on the offense here. Maybe you could Protect here. Actually, my opponent does opt to Protect, but that's fine because I don't know if I would risk that because of the fact I could just easily went to the Milotic. But let's see what's coming out for the Milotic. It's going to be the Ice Beam. Okay, that's definitely not going to be able to pick up the knockout onto my Decidueye. Wow, that does a lot less than I expected. to be honest, that did a lot less to be expected. So now I think it's potentially could be a 50-50 here, because I feel like my opponent is going to protect again, but I don't know which slot. Because you wouldn't imagine, I could double up the circuitry, but could go for a double protect here. But then again, I always have top of the line, so I'm not really too worried about that. If I double into my Milotic and circuitry attacks, that could be a problem. So I'd rather get rid of the circuitry now if possible with the pledges. And even if it gets a double protect, I could send out Lele the following turn. Ah, you get the double, okay. So I could have targeted my Milotic, but it's fine, it's fine. I feel like I'm still in a decent position no matter what here. As let's see what the Milotic's going to go for. Another Ice Beam. Will this be able to pick up the knockout on Decidueye with the Hail? I think it will. Yeah, it does. So Decidueye does go down here, but I do get my free switch into Tapu Lele and just click Psychic plus Water Pledge into that slot. My opponent doesn't have a resist here. My opponent doesn't have a resist. And yeah, Psychic is a very free play. Unfortunately, I'm not really too worried about my Milotic actually, because I do have Wall Charge with my Arcanine. However, he did stall out like quite a few pledge turns, which is the annoying part. I think this is the last turn to pledge, if I'm correct. So if he sacks, yeah, this is the last turn swamp. It only lasts 4 turns actually. Oh, I thought it was triggering where it lasts for 5. But then again, it kind of makes sense. I'm going to Psychic Water Pledge to Circuitry. There's nothing on my opponent's team that can take this combo. I'm pretty sure that you switch out Circuitry. But actually, you're going to leave it in, which is actually better for me because that Circuitry is much more of a threat than anything, I think. So I'm able to knock out the Circuitry here and get a free Water Pledge off into the Milotic for some chip. Guaranteed to put the Milotic in Wall Charge range, I would assume. Escalt's going to come out into the Tapu Lele. Let's see. No burn, which is nice. And let's see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. The game is going to come down to what is my opponent's last Pokemon. Could be Aerodactyl. I don't think it will be. Garchomp's a play here. Maybe I should just double targeted the Milotic and stopped being greedy. I think that would have been the better play. Now that I'm thinking about it, but you know, it's already too late. I already made my decisions. Let's see. Garchomp is going to be my opponent's last Pokemon. I wonder if this is Scarf Garchomp or not, but I think I could just go for Protect Water Pledge here. Like, I have to get rid of Garchomp before Arcanine comes in, or I could be in some trouble. I'm going to scout for Tectonic Rage here, but 2 Water Pledges will be able to knock out the Garchomp, or at least it should be, unless it's an Assault Vest variant. If it's an Assault Vest variant, I put myself into a bad position. But on a Ninetales team, you kind of want to assume it might be Groundium. Yeah, I would assume it'd be Groundium. I think that you're more worried about Tapu Lele because you should know that the Primarina is specs at this point. So I would not be wasting my time with Primarina when a Tapu Lele that could just click Moonblast will be able to knock out your Garchomp. So let's see what my opponent does here. As it's going to be the Poison Jab, and it's going to go into Tapu Lele, which definitely does make sense here, as Scald does come out into Primarina, which, you know, probably trying to catch any switch in potentially. Doesn't get a burn. Very fortunate as we get the Water Pledge off, and yeah, that's a solid 2 KO. Hail stops, which is a bit annoying because this Milotic's going to be recovering some health, but not too bad because I can just double up the Garchomp. You know, Garchomp protects, like Milotic can't pick up a knockout, even for crit burn with Scald onto my Tapu Lele. So yeah, I'll just double up the Garchomp here. I don't care if Garchomp protects or not. If I knock out the Garchomp, I get a free switch into Arcanine. The Wall Charge is going to be a huge factor. I know this isn't Adrenaline or Milotic. I think the only way Milotic could win if it's a very, very speedy Milotic, but I would assume it's a bulky set because of the fact that it's leftovers. And I took Water Pledge decently well. As Poison Jab's going to come out, targeting down my Primarina. So Primarina's going to go down. Okay. And I'm guessing my opponent's going to go for a Scald crits and burn here onto my Tapu Lele to pick up the knockout. So I do get the Moonblast off. This will be able to pick up the knockout on Garchomp. And now let's see if my Milotic can pick up the knockout now because of the Life Orb recall. Let's see. Scald's going to come out. Yeah, I needed a crit burn, I think. So I get my Arcanine in. I guess it really comes down to whether this Milotic is faster, but I would highly doubt it, to be honest. You only run fast Milotic on like Adrenaline Orb teams or Scarf. And since it's leftovers, I'm pretty sure it's a bulky variant. So I do get Intimidate off into this Milotic, which will activate its competitive boost. But I can go for Psychic plus Wall Charge here, and it's a very free play. And no matter what, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to win. Unless it's Fast Milotic. If it's Fast Milotic. But the fact that Tapu Lele outsped it means that my Arcanine should actually be able to outspeed it. As Milotic is going to protect, gain a bit of the leftovers recovery to maybe somehow survive this attack. Well, then again, you didn't know I was banded, so I guess it's a fair play no matter what. As you get leftovers no matter what, so definitely do agree with it. But I will just go for the double attack in the Milotic. I guess it's also could have stalled out the terrain. How many turns of maybe, I think my opponent might have to go for a double. Well, if I didn't have banded, I know I banded, so I do win. But my opponent, if I was my opponent, I think I would have to risk a double here. But doesn't go for it. So this is a Wild Charge into Milotic, which doesn't pick up the knockout on Milotic. Wow, that did a lot less than expected. But Psychic will be able to come out and pick up the knockout on Milotic. So I'm guessing it's like very physically defensive Milotic, but I do pick up the knockout with the combination attack, and that will be good game. So yeah, very solid, very solid. Well, I'm not exactly pleased on how I played. Even though I did win the game, I'm not exactly pleased of how I played. I think just doubling up that Milotic slot, I guess the fear that I had in the back of my mind is, what if Milotic tries to go for a double and Xurkitree tries to knock out Primarina? Because if that's the case, I could be put actually into a bad position. But maybe, actually, now thinking about it, I think Tapu Lele just got a revenge KO onto Xurkitree or Milotic no matter what, even if it's bulky Xurkitree, unless it was like Assault Vest, which is not a set you see at all. It couldn't really take a Psychic from Tapu Lele and Psychic Terrain, especially since I don't think my opponent had a Terrain changer. Let's see, it was Aerodactyl, Garchomp, Milotic. I can't exactly remember the full team. But anyway, we're going to be finding another battle. Yeah, I think I should have just tarred down Milotic when I had the chance. But yeah, I guess I was just worried about Xurkitree sweeping the late game or picking a knockout onto the Primarina, but I think it would have been fine either way if I just targeted down the Milotic. I think it would have made the game a lot easier, because if I did call that turn where Xurkitree protected turn 1, well, the first turn it was out, and then got the Milotic out, I mean, I don't think my opponent had a chance to win at all. It's down 2 Pokemon. It would have made Arcanine quite a bit useless, I guess. And I guess Garchomp could have, or Xurkitree could have sweeps me still if it got like one setup. So yeah, could have been annoying, but I mean, regardless, we still won. Tiny from Japan with a 1636 will be our last opponent of the day. Bring the team of Tapu Fini, Arcanine, Kartana, Togedemaru, Braviary, and Snorlax. Ooh, this is a very scary team. Very scary team. Yeah, how do I beat Braviary with this team? How do I beat Braviary? Well, in order to counter the pledge mode, I would assume you would be leading something like Togedemaru. What are you gonna lead? Togedemaru, Braviary potentially? Ooh, like no matter what, Togedemaru, Braviary is a hard lead to handle. Cause, well, Mimikyu should be able to live one Supersonic Sky Strike. That's actually tough because it's stronger to Tectonic Rage from Garchomp. I know Mimikyu can survive that, but still. I think I'll go Mimikyu. This is tough. I don't like this matchup, actually. I really don't. I think I have to go Mimikyu Snorlax in this route. And in the back... Primarina does well in Trick Room. Tapu Lele is okay. I think I have to go Decidueye in the back. And Arcanine. The reason I'm going to go this is because if I do go to Mimikyu Snorlax route, it's very weak to the Kartana. So I need ways to handle the Kartana in and out of Trick Room, which is why I'm going to go Decidueye combined with my Arcanine, because I threaten the Kartana in and out of Trick Room. But the problem is with this team is Braviary is a very threatening Pokemon. Togedemaru is also kind of annoying since it does stop the pledge with Fake Out turn 1, and then Braviary can get Tailwind, and then it can knock out my Decideyue the following turn. And yeah, it's going to be Togedemaru, Braviary like it should be, but the problem is this is still tricky because there's Zing Zap and the Flying Z move, the Supersonic Sky Strike that could go into Mimikyu. I don't know if that picks a knockout. There could be Whirlwind too, I guess. Like, Whirlwind's an option, but I think I had to trick him Belly Drum here because I have to hope that Mimikyu can survive, or you go for the fake out on the Snorlax. I don't believe All Out Pummeling knocks out my Snorlax if it's one of those All Out Pummeling Braviary. But yeah, fake out. Yeah, it's gonna be Zing Zap. So one, you get a chance to flinch the Mimikyu. And yeah, if it flinches or it doesn't survive, I'm in a really bad spot. But either way, I don't like how I can play against this team, to be honest. I really don't. So it is gonna be the Z move from Braviary, which should be Supersonic Sky Strike. Like, I think my only option here is to actually hope that I get this Trick Room up, because I feel like that's the only way I could win. Like, no matter what, like, I pretty much get swept by this combination, to be honest. So let's see if Mimikyu can survive. It doesn't survive. Wow. And IDC. Fun. But wow, it actually makes it look like a rage quit there. But I think I would have lost the game anyway, thinking about it, because if the Togedemaru does carry Encore, and you want to assume it has Encore, Braviary just swept my team. Like, Braviary actually just swept my team. The only way I could hope for a win was maybe hope that Arcanine was faster than Braviary, but yeah, I think that's going to be it, though, for today's episode. Unfortunately, our win streak does end in today's episode. Like, I don't think it had a matchup. Like, what could I do against Decidueye plus the Mimikyu? I mean, the Togedemaru. It goes for Fake Out, Tailwind turn 1. Like, even if I lead Decidueye Primarina, I can't go for pledges. I can't knock out the Braviary in one attack. So, no matter what, it seems pretty odd. Yeah, if I let Tapu Lele get threatened by the Z move, maybe I could let Mimikyu Tapu Lele, I guess, because it at least threatens a knockout on Braviary. But then I'm still in a bad spot, because if you knock out Mimikyu, if you knock out Mimikyu, my Trick Room mode is basically gone, so it would have made the game a lot harder, especially since I don't have, like, the pledge up, so I don't have, like, that speed control that's really necessary to this team. Yeah, like, Braviary is just such an annoying mon. I don't see how I really break through it effectively without being put in a really big disadvantage, so yeah, that's something that's a bit of a weakness to this team. I think Nate did mention that it does have some matchup problems, especially if it can't get speed control up on those matchups. But hope that everyone did enjoy today's episode of VGC 17 Backsplit Battles. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really shows your support, as well as if you think any of your friends would enjoy it, please share this video to them as well. And if you have any questions or want to say something, feel free to leave a comment down below. Check out the rest of my stuff down below, such as my side series on this channel, my social medias, and as always, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you around in another episode.